Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. I just want to first up say Happy Easter to everyone that lives in Australia, around the world. It's Easter Day today in Australia, so happy Easter to everyone. So for my very first guest of this week is this incredible actor known by the name of Brian Bowles. He's going to be playing the role of the Incredible Joker. In the Barbra fan film series. So I'm going to add Brian into the live now to have a chat with Brian about his role as the Joker. So yeah, let's get Brian in and have a chat with Brian.
Yo, what's
Hey,
up?
Brian, what's up?
How's it going?
Yeah, really good, thanks. So can I just say, first up, thank you so much, Brian, for making the time to come onto my show.
Of
It's such a pleasure
course.
having you on. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give a bit of backstory about who you are and what you do, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, my name is Brian. I'm a pretty new filmmaker with two films under my belt, Batman Death of Robin and Batman Nightmare, and plenty more to come. I've directed these films, wrote them, and played the Joker.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the very first question. So with my very first question, so you'll be playing the role of the Incredible Joker for this Barbra fan film series coming very soon. What has the whole experience been like for you getting to play the role of the Joker?
Oh, it's great. It's phenomenal. It's super fun. It's also difficult too because everyone has kind of this preconception of what the Joker should be. And plenty of people out there I know who approach the Joker role in other fan films either make it their own or they tend to mimic some of the movies or the animated series. With my approach to it, I kind of took everything, all the media that's been presented of the Joker and made it my own as well. So there's some inspiration from many different Jokers. Like I said, my biggest goal was to make it my own, to be original.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the next question. So with my very next question, so when you got casted in the role of the Joker for the Barbra fan film series, what were your emotions like when you got casted in the role?
I give the role to myself, so it wasn't surprising.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what makes your Joker different from other actors that have portrayed the Joker before?
Yeah, I guess it kind of goes back to making the Joker my own version of the character. There's a lot of comic stories that I take and kind of hold on to when I give a performance. So, for example, when I'm performing, I kind of have the Joker from the Killing Joke comic in mind, as well as Dark Knight Returns, or even Mark Hamill from the Arkham games or the animated series. And so I kind of take all these different Joker renditions and kind of have them in mind, and that's I think where the subconscious influence of different Jokers kind of plays out in my version of the character.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So if your Joker could have any memorable moment in the Barbra fan film series, what memorable moment would you want for your Joker and why?
Well, there are a couple memorable moments in this film. And one of those is a very intimate moment with um, Batgirl. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll just say it's very intense, very scary, and really dives into the psychology of Barbara and Joker's dynamic in the film. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
It's tempting, but I can't.
So good. So on to our very next question. So why should people watch the Barbra fan film series when it gets released?
This is going to be a film that's kind of atypical. I've said it before with other interviews. It's not just, an action film. It's not just, you know, Batgirl kicking butt, although we do have plenty of that. It's also a very grounded and psychological film that kind of dives into the darkest moments of these characters and humanizes them in a way that I don't think people have seen in a lot of media based off of the Batman franchises. Um, so I think that's people are in for a team up. They're in for Batman action with all these characters that they've never seen in film. And like I said before, very psychological and emotional moments.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So who would be your all-time favorite DC hero of all time and why?
Hero. Oh gosh. See, I like a lot of anti-heroes. So I'm trying to think of heroes. I also like villains. So let me think about that. I guess, hmm, gosh, that's tough. I'll say Rorschach from Watchmen. Since
Yes.
he's so, I don't know if you would consider him a hero, but
Yeah.
that's the one that kind of comes to mind because he's so different.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So who would be your all-time favorite DC villain of all time and why?
So outside of Joker, because everyone says that, I'd say it's a mixture of either Atrocitus, who's a Red Lantern, or Ozymandias from Watchmen. Um, he's a very dynamic villain with interesting motives in that story. I'd go with those two, outside of Joker, of course.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So if your Joker could team up with any DC villain of all time, who would it be and why?
Let's do a Red Lantern, any of them. I like to see Joker with a sidekick who's all about rage. It'd be very interesting to see that play out.
Awesome. So on to our very next question. So who inspired you as a person to get into acting in the first place?
I don't know. There's really no other actor that inspired me. I will say though, uh, Zack Snyder kind of inspired me to get into directing. When I first saw Man of Steel, I absolutely loved the cinematography, the visual storytelling. Um, Blade Runner 2049 also kind of solidified my love for directing, more visual storytelling. As you can tell, that's my style. Um, but no one in terms of acting really. I wanted to get into voiceover before, and I actually trained in that for about a year and a half, but accidentally got into acting just because people around me said, "Oh, you're very, expressive. Maybe you should try acting." And said, "You know what? Screw it. Let's give it a shot." And now we're here.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So what have you learned about yourself as a person, like especially during COVID?
Um, I'm very picky with my creative endeavors. I tend to think a lot about the small details and things, whether it's down to, color grading or sound ambience, emotion, makeup. I love it all. So I've realized that I have a strong vision, um, and it kind of it pushes me to be a better person, honestly, because then you start looking at yourself, self-reflection, and if you can kind of nitpick, your negative experiences or your negative not experiences, but your negative aspects, and kind of work on those things, then you'll become a better person by the day.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if you could be in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
Oh man, I'm already in Batman. That'd be number one, but doing that for myself already. Um, you know what? Power Rangers would be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, That was
Yeah,
my childhood show was Power Rangers. Got some helmets.
I
I
love
think
it.
being in Power Rangers would be a dream come true. Um, and then I would absolutely love to be in a Blade Runner movie, a new sequel. I love the dystopian sci-fi setting. Huge fan of that. So those are the first two that come to mind. Yeah.
Awesome. So on the very next question, so what are like the positives and negatives into the whole acting or directing side to things, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
Yeah. So with film, and with any job really, you're going to find plenty of drama um, amongst people. And so I guess with my first film, I was very blessed with a great team. Same with my second one, but you're always going to struggle with, and this is as a director, um, organizing the film is very, very tough. Trying to get that budget. That's why we're doing an Indiegogo for Barbra. Link in my bio. um, so kind of managing everyone, some people get emotional about certain things, so you got to kind of tend to that. Um, some people clash with each other. You'll have people that come on set that, they might badmouth you. You just never know. And, my sets have been pretty consistent so far, but that's the industry in general. So you're kind of a full-time babysitter as a director. Not only that, but you got to worry about, the actors' performances, the costumes, the scripts looking good, your social media activity, which I'm horrible at, to be honest. Um, and outside of that, when I'm throwing myself into the Joker role, I also got to worry about acting, making sure, that's top tier and making sure I'm representing the Joker to people's expectations. It's tough. It is not easy. But the way you can overcome these things is you can't be emotional. You can't throw any emotions into what you do. You have to keep charging forward. You got to learn to say no. You will never be a leader if you can't say no, and that's something I learned to do years ago. Um, yeah, I think that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, can I just say, with the Barber fan film series, you're going to be one incredible Joker. I can already tell
I
by your
really
natural
appreciate it.
vibe of yourself. So,
Really
yeah, I'm
appreciate
looking
that.
forward to seeing your version of the Joker.
Thank
So,
you so much.
very welcome. So, on to my very next question. So, what's like next for you project wise for the rest of 2021?
2021, I've got another DC project, which kind of has been announced, but I'm going to keep that under wraps. Um, there's a lot brewing. There's a lot on my plate right now in terms of fan film possibilities and original stuff that I want to do. So it's hard to tell. You just never know. Again, it just comes down to having a budget for these things because they're hard to produce. If you want to produce quality stuff, you gotta throw in so much money. So I'm more of a quality over quantity kind of guy. Um, but I will say some other fan films I would love to take on someday. Um, I know Attack on Titan is kind of fresh right now. I'd love to do a live action of that. Maybe no Titans for budget reasons. Um, Gosh, what else? I think Death Note would be cool, doing a proper live action. Um, Plenty of people have done Power Rangers before, but I'd like to have my own spin on the franchise. Um, yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well, because I love how you said Power Rangers. If you ever want to be a Power Ranger, definitely hit up Nerdbot Studios. Shout out to Nerdbot Studios. They do such an incredible job with like all their projects and stuff.
okay.
You would actually be phenomenal in one of their
I appreciate that.
Power Ranger fan film projects. And yeah, the person that does the incredible work on those projects for Nerdbot Studios is Colin K. Bass, such an incredible actor
Oh,
and person in
yeah.
life. So
Yeah, I know
yeah,
who you're talking about. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. If you want to hit
Yeah.
him up, and yeah, who knows,
Hey,
anything's
let's get a
possible.
petition going.
Heck
Get me
yes.
on their Power Ranger projects. I'd love to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. Thanks, man. I
Well,
appreciate
that's
that.
all good. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Brian, for appearing on my show. It's been such a pleasure having you on. Do you
Absolutely.
have like any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to people on the show?
Hmm. I guess the one thing I can say is uh, if you're wanting to do this stuff, first of all, stay humble. Humble yourself around, um, the people that join you on these journeys, um, because it's truly a team effort. Everyone's part and role, whether it's acting, behind the camera, editing, sound design, music, is immensely tough. It's draining. Everyone deserves equal respect on these projects, and if you want to do these things, don't be scared by it. You got to get out of your comfort zone if you want to become successful. Because if you don't, you're going to stagnate, for a very long time. Um, so I guess those are my final words if you want to do this stuff. Because I had no idea what I was doing with my first film, but I did it. I had a passion. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make this happen. I did. Anyone can do it as long as you have the passion for it.
Awesome.